Hey everybody, so I did the first part of the video. I just want to add to it real quick. So in the first part we went over all the costs, what you're going to need to create your soil mixture if you decide to do the mix that I've provided here. So what we need to do is go over how many cubic feet we're adding to your soil mix of what. So with our mix, what we do is 1 cubic foot of Kellogg's Amend. That's your organic material base that's going to kind of break down and give you your nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, mostly nitrogen. And then secondly, we're going to do a half cubic foot bag or half cubic foot of sphagnum peat moss out of your bag. And then we're also going to do a half cubic foot of perlite and a half cubic foot of sand, and that's gonna come out to 2.5 cubic feet. So what you're gonna want to do is you put your sand in last because it's heavy, and you don't want that on the bottom of your pot, your 25-gallon pot, or your whatever you're mixing it in, a wheelbarrow or whatever. So that goes in last. What you'll want to do is start with your Kellogg's. You put in your 1 cubic foot bag, or 1 cubic feet out of your 2 cubic foot bag. Next, you're going to want to put in your half cubic foot amount of peat moss on top of your Kellogg's Amend. Next, you're going to want to put in your half cubic foot amount of perlite, and I suggest mixing that up first. And then after that's homogenized, which means mixed evenly in your pot or your wheelbarrow, whatever you're planning on mixing it in, you're going to want to put in your sand on top and mix that in thoroughly. And after that's mixed in good, then you're going to want to move on to I would suggest your humic acid. And what you're going to want to do is put in about a 1/4 cup or so of your humic acid, dry material. You'll want to mix that in. And then next, you can put this in when you put your plant in, or you can mix it in the day before, as long as you get your plant in within a day or so, I would recommend. And then after you have all that mixed in, you got your plant in, you've added your inoculant, go ahead and give your plant a good watering, not too much, just a light watering, because if you saturate your plant too early, it's going to take a long time for that 25-gallon pot to dry out, which means your plant isn't going to grow. It's not going to get air until your pot dries out, and your pots need air. So you don't want to saturate your pot. Give it a really light watering, and then on your second watering, after it's dried out good, your plant's showing a little growth, on your second watering, you're going to want to add your liquid seaweed growth stimulator. And I would suggest doing, for a grow this size of 90 cubic feet, I would get a 50-gallon or 100-gallon cistern or barrel drum. And you're going to want to add in, I would say, an 1/8 cup or a 1/4 cup of your liquid seaweed growth stimulator, depending on if it's a 50-gallon or 100-gallon. If it's 100, you'll want to add a little more, maybe another 1/4 cup. Mix that up good, and then you'll have a sump pump in your cistern, which pumps your mixture, your seaweed extract and water that's mixed up good. You can pump it into your pots. And what your liquid seaweed does is it helps your soil mix, and I'm specifically talking about the Kellogg's Amend, which some people might call it a base for a compost mix. It helps that break down, and it helps your plants absorb nutrients in conjunction with your humic acid. So you got to remember, water is going to activate your liquids, seaweed, and your humic acid, the dry material. Water is going to do that, as well as your Kellogg's base material. And it's important also to have a temperature that's at least 78 degrees or above in your growing room or in your greenhouse, because that really helps activate everything and break things down so your plants get those great nutrients that they need to grow, stay green, and thrive. So I hope that's helpful to everybody, and good luck. I hope it works out for you. Thanks.